Hi, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Sarah. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. For you, my old subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your continued support, for your likes and shares and subscriptions. And for you, my new subscribers, you're welcome. And all my viewers, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, like and share. And so, as I said previously, I'm going to be sharing content with you, and this is from content that will be coming from personal experience, from my personal life. These are things that I have personally experienced, okay? And yeah, so I would like for you guys to subscribe, like and share, so that when I start to unravel the content that I will be creating, you can also take part, participate. For example, you can leave comments and I'll be reading those comments and then I'll be addressing them. All right, guys. So, yeah, welcome again. Welcome to my channel. It's about 20 past 3 here in London, and it's a little bit, it's not cold. It's a little bit sunny today, but yeah, it's not cold. Obviously, the temperatures have changed a little bit more. It's not summer anymore, okay? This is now October, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you are all well. I hope you are all doing just fine. So, guys, please subscribe, like, and share. And thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me this afternoon. So, guys, I would like to talk to you about something that happened to me this last Wednesday. So, I went to my appointment. I had an appointment somewhere in London, and um, okay, so I'm not driving these days. I'm using public transport, and I'm kind of liking it because I'm so used to be driving all the time. But it gives me the opportunity to revisit um, my train journeys. I used to use the train a long, long time ago, okay, and yeah, so it's a little bit, it's like I've never used the train before, so it's like relearning to, especially the tube, it's like relearning to use the tube so that to use the train, the underground, so that I'm not going the opposite direction opposed to going that other direction. So yeah, but I'm fine. I got lost about maybe once. I got on the wrong train, and the reason is because I didn't read the notice on the screens in the train station. But otherwise, I'm doing just fine, and I'm enjoying the train rides and bus rides and things like that. So yeah, it's been a while, it's been years I haven't used the train, so this is really, really good. I'm enjoying that. But anyhow, so as I was saying, I left home quite early. I caught the bus just to go to the train station. It's about 10-15 minutes ride on the bus from the bus stop where I walk up. I have to walk like about three minutes from the house. So yeah, and so when I arrived at the train station, I used the Oyster. Those who live in London or wherever else in the UK, if you use the Oyster, you know what I'm talking about. Some of you, my viewers, you may be viewing this from different continents, different countries in Europe, or different continents altogether. Okay, especially you, my brothers and sisters viewing me from Africa, welcome. Yeah, so anyhow, um, so I use my oyster to get through the barriers. I had top tap. So when I say top tap, for just really for the benefit of those who don't know how the oyster works, you have to add money on the oyster. So I had money from last week's appointment. Okay, so this week on Wednesday, I I left some funds there. So I don't like my oyster going empty. So I just keep, you know, topping it up so that I don't run low. So yeah, so um, I I arrived at my destination and I did what I had to do, and then I came back. So on my way back from my appointment, I then decided to check, as I always do. It's a habit of mine. So I tapped my oyster to check if I had enough funds to embark on the journey. Okay, so I had some funds, quite all right, but I thought they were a bit low, so I just wanted to top up um, top up the oyster. Then I thought to myself, I've done half the journey, so half the journey would mean that going is half and coming back is another half the journey. So I decided I'm not gonna put a lot of money on my oyster, or I'm gonna save the money that I put on my oyster for another time. So I'm also going to now use my bank card. So you're allowed to use your credit card, your Visa, you know. So yeah, I decided to use my bank card, and I've used it before, including on the bus and on the train, and my bank card has worked just fine. My bank are brilliant, by the way. So I've been with them for probably over 30 years. I've been with my bank. So yeah, the same bank, the same branch, by the way, and they're brilliant, really brilliant. They've been very, very supportive of me. Um, I don't know what bank you use, but sometimes, um, we don't thank the people in our lives that have made life a lot easier for us. We tend to, just talk about the negative, the bad things that happen to us. But I want to get in that habit where when somebody does something good to me, just smile and then talk about it, rather than when somebody, gives me a dirty look and, I jump on. Okay, I jump on YouTube and, I'm recording it. Well, I don't do that, but yeah, we tend to do that as human beings, don't we? However, we do not tend to talk about the good things that other people do for us. So yeah, at this time, I just want to say my bank that I bank with, they've been brilliant. Okay, yeah, they're not perfect, but yeah, they're a good bank. So anyhow, there wasn't any reason for my bank for so I as I said, to get into the barriers for me to get to the platform to catch the train, I tapped my bank card. There was more than enough funds to get me more than 1,000 journeys, you know. So from the same point, back and forth. Okay, so I tapped my bank card, and the barriers didn't open. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? Luckily, there was a man behind me and he was assisting other customers. So I just kindly asked, I said, hey, my bank card has been declined, not declined, but the barriers won't open. Has my bank, has this been declined? So he left what he was doing. He came to me. He says to me, tap again. So yeah, I tapped again, guys. All right, I tapped again. So when I tapped, he said things like, "Oh, that's a bad number." I said, "What bad number?" He says, "Look there in the barriers, the barriers at the train station." So I looked on the screen on the barriers. I looked, and he said, "That's a bad number." And I said, "Okay, in what way? Transactionally? What do you mean?" So we had language barrier, guys. All right, so I left that alone, and I just kindly asked him to let me through the barriers so I could speak to somebody in the office. And the station I was at, they don't sell tickets anymore like other train stations do. And so there's just men in there on CCTV. So I got in. He let me in. They let me in, and I said, "Hey, I've got a problem." I recorded it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube so you can see. So I say to them, "Hey guys, I've got a problem. My bank card has just okay. There's a part I missed." So when this man at the barriers asked me to tap, and then there was a number that appeared. Was it 8 or 80? I wear glasses or contact lenses. I didn't have either. I carried my glasses that day. I didn't have my contact lenses on. So I say to him, "Okay, I can't see the number clearly, but I can see the 8." So whilst I was talking to him, money came out of my bank account to the TFL. TFL is whatever the where you pay your money to travel on a train journey and the bus, I suppose. I don't know much about that, but yeah. So they deducted £15.60 and the barriers were closed. I wasn't topping up at the machine. So I said to the man, "Look, £15.60 has been deducted out of my bank account after you said for me to touch the barriers." Again, we had language barriers, so that is when I said I kindly asked him to let me through the barriers. So he opened with the key, and then I went into their office. They agreed for me to go in, and so I spoke to them and I said, "Look, I've just tapped my bank card twice on the barriers, and the TFL have taken money from my bank account. Can I please get a refund?" So the gentleman in the sitting on the CCTV, he said to me, "Oh, give me your full name and address." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, now." And then, "Tell me exactly where you're going." And I'm like, "I'm visiting different places in London today. I'm not going straight home." So he said, "No, you're going to have to tell me everywhere you're going." And I'm thinking, security, safety. And I'm like, "No, sir, I'm not going to do that." He says, "Why?" I said, "Because would you put yourself at risk by providing strangers your journey? Okay, everywhere you're going, your name and address. Why would I want to do that?" Because I've been the LTF, they've literally taken money out of my bank account. I just want a refund. I just need a resolution to this issue. So he says, "Well, if you want to give me your contact detail, your home address, your full name, and everywhere you're going." I said, "Okay, why do I need to do that?" He says, "When you get to your destination, you ask the members of staff from that destination to call us." And I'm thinking, do I have something on my forehead that's written naive and ignorant? And I'm thinking, okay. I'm going to be the bigger person here because it doesn't, these people in the train station, they don't seem to understand what safety and my safety and security means to me. Maybe they don't care about theirs, but if they could do that, I wouldn't do the same. So anyhow, I then called the TFL and I spoke to them. I said, could I get my refund, please? And they said they couldn't. Then I told them about 3 weeks ago where I topped up my Oyster. It was topped up. After topping up, that at the time I paid cash, and I haven't handled cash in a long time. So this is the only time I had actually handled cash in a very long time after COVID lockdowns. And so I decided to use the money, the cash I had, to pay for my Oyster. So after I paid, because I had credit on my Oyster, I still had money on it. I just added another £10. So after I added the £10, I checked and the balance was updated. I checked again just to be sure, and then I cancelled it. I checked again, and the balance was there. So I left the train station, and then I went on the bus just a few meters away. And when I caught the bus, I then I tapped, okay, to pay for my travel, and my Oyster declined. And I said to the bus driver, I have literally added more money. There is money there. Is your system working? So he says, no, it's okay, just sit. So when I arrived home the next day, I went to an off license where they top up Oysters. I said to them at the off license, how much is on the Oyster? They said 0. And so I called the TFL. This was 3 weeks ago. The TFL said we have cybercrime, and so we cannot deal with your problem. Call us end of next week, and that week was still early, by the way. So